So I'm Hilda Roqué. I'm the executive director of Nuestras Raíces. I've been here for 21 years. I'm not always as the executive director, but I came from Puerto Rico when I was 14 years old. So what we do here at Nuestras Raíces it made me feel like I was home. Coming as a teenager to the U.S., changing everything from your language to temperatures and everything, it was pretty harsh. And finding Nuestras Raíces was kind of finding a self of belonging in the community. So this is why I love this organization so much and what we do. It relates to who I am as a person, my culture, my language, the food that we grow. It's also related to our culture. So and we instill in your young kids also the importance of not losing their culture. It doesn't matter, in our case, we came from Puerto Rico, and so that the organization was started by Puerto Ricans. But but we kind of adopted everyone, and I think even if they come from the Caribbean or South America or Latin America, they can come here and relate to their culture. And we actually had refugees also in the past, and they come and relate to the culture. Amazing. So it's like kind of like that's why part of our mission is agriculture divided in two. Agri because the part of growing food, and culture because it relates to whoever comes here, or it's part of our community gardens. It's the relation. So it's amazing.
Tell me a little bit about. So you have a unique model here that is specific to the spaces that you lease and then you sublease. Can you talk a little bit about that? Who manages the land and who stewards the land? Who takes care of the land? And talk a little bit about the lease part of it.
So who stewards? It's a collaboration between Nuestras Raíces, which owns the 5 acres of the land, and trustees of reservation, who are our partners, who we sublease from them and then sublease to the farmers.
Okay.
And that's why we try to also in every single program we do. It doesn't matter if it's a community garden, but also here what we're trying to be good stewards of what God gave us. It is a gift from God. I cannot say it better. Being and having the blessing of having this land, and having a place where people could actually grow food, and be self-sustainable. We have learned through all these years and through all the everything that's been going on in the world, and all the catastrophes and all this. How important it is. Land is power, and a lot of people don't believe it. So for many people that might be the way. Going to your city hall and actually looking at the vacant lots that are available. This was a unique opportunity because it was in an agricultural zoning. So that's also another important fact, that it has to be in an agricultural zone. There are trustees, like I said, the trustees of reservation at the time, they were not under trust, but the Sisters of Providence had that farmland that was adjacent to this one, and it was over 100 years that it wasn't farmed.
Wow.
So here we got 25 more acres of land that was not being farmed. So we came in.
We'll take it.
And we'll say we bought it from actually the houses across the street, the owners of this land. So it was a private owner. And we approached the owner, and he was a very old man who had farmed all through his life. And we asked for it. He put us in contact with his daughter, who was a realtor. So we make the connection, and we got this land.
How did you purchase the land?
Yes, we did not have the money to purchase the land. So we sourced from Amelia Peabody Foundation, and they actually bought the land for us, and then we pay back little by little. But that's another way. You know, sometimes you don't have the money, and you could have either foundations or I think now the government I think it's realizing how much. In some states it's like you could have like long-term leases, like we have in the other side. It's like they're not using the land. They want to have people who, if you come with a good plan, you know, and as said, a good reputation, like we have. Nuestras Raíces has a pretty good reputation. So I think that opens the door. But if you start like, you know, in a large scale, let's say a community garden. Community gardens, you could find, we have private owners. We have city community gardens that are in the city. Housing developments are other places to look at. Sometimes they have so much land that it's not being utilized. So you could start in a small scale and be considered a farmer. And then, you know, graduate. And this is the way we want to actually put the wording, which is you know, we graduate. We kind of incubate the farmers, and then they graduate into a larger farm.
From one step to the little 12 by 12 you were saying earlier to a little bit more, and then they get bigger and bigger. That's amazing. How do you feel the relationship with the trustees is with you all? How's that? How would you describe that relationship? For people that are interested, are the trustees type of people that are good to communicate, they're good partners, they're good supporters, or are they somebody that only go by a set of rules and that's it and see you later? How would you describe your relationship? Because every relationship is different with your trustees for this type of group.
So the trustees are a group. They're mostly white, so understanding the culture, the difference of the culture was difficult. I think it always is when there's, you know, two different cultures, and you have to acknowledge certain activities. Like for example, the tool sheds were resemblance of the casitas in Puerto Rico. So for them, that was not a tool shed. That was like a structure, and as part of our lease, we cannot have permanent structures. So that was a problem, and those kind of things that we help us as much as we can.
So on that same line, can you talk a little bit about what are some of the challenges? What are some of the stresses that farmers have? What are some of the difficult things that you as a farmer go through here in as a whole space?
The most struggling is trying to put the seed on time because sometimes what you want to put the seed is rain attack. We're not going to do nothing about that, and we can be behind, and sometimes like too many situation in the family, we cannot be in the land. We have to be at home with the family. So like my son, he was sick. I had to be like a week this year at home too. And my week was coming up, and I can't do nothing about it because my son is first. You know what I mean? I love the land. I love my best friend and everything. I love to be here, but I think important thing was be one hand. So that thing that's it, and like we start like new like that, learning for the other farmer the next year is not going to be hard because I learned a lot this year. What we can do on this year to not kill yourself.
So you know. I'm going to just elaborate a little bit. So you talked a little bit about some of the stressors are for this type of group farming is that you're not home. You know, you can't go out to your backyard and go grab the vegetables and go take care of your son. You got to physically drive here or walk here or however you get here, take care of this. And then if you're needed at home, then you can't be here. Talk a little bit about, does that bring you stress?
A little bit, because there's a lot of traffic, first of all, and I want to be at home because the way that I take my car to come, at least Indian Ocean and Springfield. So come to Holyoke, take me 10 or 15 minutes, and pick them up like 20, maybe half an hour, and then I go back, it's like an hour or something. And when I go back, maybe, and I give you the medicine at the right time, or, and I'll be home to open the door for them because he let the kid at home or whatever, you know. That's why I share my phone today.
So how does this type of farming, group farming, help stress or make it worse?
No, what happened is we let the water on, and it's like paddle. So the other farmer just called me, and I'm gonna shut out your water because you not came today, or something is breaking or whatever. We call one to the other and let them know this is going on, and
so supportive.
Yeah, supportive one to the other.
Okay,
that's
great.
the thing. That I like summer, I'm going camping with my family. So I talked to Juan, and he said, "Don't worry, I put the water on, and it's close for you." And you know, when Juan needs me, I'm out there. When I need him, he's right there too. You know, so it's not matter. I spent $50 on him, and he spent $5 to me. It's no like you know, you owe me 45, whatever. No, it's not that. You know, it's about the heart and how we can help one to the other.
So it sounds like those are the benefits of a group farming.
Yes.
That you have each other's back.
Yes.
If you're not here, somebody else can jump in. If they're not here, you jump in. So thank you for sharing some of those benefits. Can you describe what healthy communication looks like between you as a person who is in charge and leading here and the farmers, and between the trustees and you? So a little while ago, you were talking about cultural differences and ethnic and race differences, which are all very, very important, and it impacts all of us as farmers. And so can you talk a little bit about how do you maintain that good communication between you and all the groups that you work with? And what are some mechanisms for resolution and disputes that you have come up with? Can you share a little bit about what makes it work, and what are some of the processes, if you have any, of solving solutions between all the pieces that you face here?
So communication is important in every single way. So the good thing with the farmers, we have a farmers meeting every month.
Okay.
And if it needs to be, because anything that happens that needs my attention, I either come here, that's another thing. I come here very often. Okay. Although my office is like a mile away, I'm always.
So your office is not here? My
office is not here.
So you come here and to your office, that's part of your day?
Yes.
Okay.
So it was a challenge, especially more when I was the only one working, so the shortage of staff. Thankfully, we have the farm manager, so that person, it's here more, and it's more attentive to their needs, and it brings it back. So I meet with the staff every Monday. Okay. I meet with the farmers every month. Okay. The third month, the third week of every month. Okay. I meet with the trustees every 6 months.
Okay. Awesome.
If there's anything, if they come to the land and they see that something is not, we either communicate by email, they have my personal cell phone. The same thing with them. I'm always calling them, they always calling me. Okay. I give them my cell phone number. Okay. So we're always in communication, and that's very important. Okay. I think that's number one.
I've noticed that, like we said before the comment, people that are not Hispanic, we're trying the best we can to get them to understand that we are Hispanic and we're proud of ourselves, and we would like them to understand us as we are. And it's very difficult, but hopefully, especially in the farmers market, we get, yes, like the ajicitos. Oh, what's that? Small pepper. Hispanic, we call them ajicitos. Small. Can I try one? Oh, yes.
You had last words to share with new farmers, new beginner farmers. Would you recommend going with a group model farming like this one or any other? And what would you say to a new person that wants to become a farmer and want to be a new person as a beginner? What words would you encourage them? What would be your thoughts?
Come to Nuestras Raíces, because we have land here, and we have a new beginners farming training program that it's and veterans are welcome. We welcome them with open arms. And we have that. We're recruiting people for next year. So if anyone is interested in leasing land or being participant of one of community gardens, and I probably want to make a difference. What's the difference between the two? Which is that the farm is for commercial farming, and the community gardens is for their own consumption. So that's the difference between one and the other. But we have both space in our community gardens and here too. So they're more than welcome to come here and start. We're not going to leave them alone. We train them along the way, so they receive training. They receive, technical assistance, and I think the fees are very accessible. Okay. So
thank you.
And they could get more information in our office. The number is 413-535-1789, extension 204.
I'll repeat that number one more time, please.
413-535-1789, extension 204.
Okay. So, what last words? What would you recommend? What would you say to a new person who wants to become a new farmer? What advice do you have to give them?
I will just tell them that we will be happy to welcome them here, and of course we're eager to share whatever he or she brings, that we can make it better in our farm. Like we had with Cesar, he came here this year. He brought a few ideas, and they've been working. And like he said, we'll just introduce the kind of condos and the things that he brought, and probably someone else can bring something else.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
And if we have if someone Hispanic come from another culture that Hispanic too, it will be,
You're welcome here.
Yes, very welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. So it sounds like this place is not only for Puerto Ricans and Boricuas,
right.
It's for anyone who identifies as Hispanic and anyone else who identifies as anything else, because you're very welcoming and inclusive to whoever wants to learn and is eager to grow their own food. I want to thank you, all of you, for your time, for your efforts, for your energy, for your commitment to keep our culture going, to keep our generations thriving, knowing and sharing what you all share. And it has been an honor and a pleasure to get to meet and hear all of your stories. Mm-hmm. And I look forward to hearing more and more great things about Nuestras Raíces.
Thanks.
Thank you too.
Have a wonderful day.